Is this okay? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Joel's Happy Place. I really thank you all for being here. So why don't you come on in, and I'm not going to say get out of the heat or the sun, but at least get out of the sun. It's not showing up too much here this afternoon, which is great for us all. But please make your way in, and we'll get started. Again, thank you all for coming to celebrate Joel's life and Joel as a person. And I have a few opening remarks, and then anybody who would like to come up and share your thoughts, feelings, experiences with Joel, please feel free to. In fact, that's why we're here, so we can hear from you. And thank you very much for coming. And as soon as I can make my technology work, I think I'll go ahead. This gathering celebrates the life of Joel David Saslaw, known here on the radio as Bubbles, because of his bubbly personality and effervescence. I put that in, but the crew really appreciated and knew him for who he was, and so Bubbles is the name. And also the volunteerism that Joel gave to this wonderful museum, the spirit of volunteerism that symbolizes the giving of ourselves to those values we want to inspire and instill in our communities. The myriad of values that we can collectively achieve by joining hands and heart, rolling up our sleeves, getting a little dust on our clothes, and soot on our faces to get the job done, which in our Jewish tradition is to improve our world. Joel was an active participant in life through his love of history, the mentoring of young university men through the SIGEP program of Building Balanced Men, as a facilities director for the Gamma Phi Beta sorority, where he worked to ensure the duty of care, safe, comfortable, and functional living spaces for university women, and was embarking on a new career to be a history and social studies teacher for 6th and 7th grade students at the Excel Academy Charter School down the road here in Arvada. He wanted to bring history into life and into the consciousness of his students to learn from the past and help make a better future. As we will share this afternoon, Joel lived his values by doing, getting a little dirty, in preserving the rich history of Colorado's narrow gauge, railroading technology, culture, quirkiness, ingenuity, tenacity, and in the reality of the dreams, machines, business ventures, and the livelihoods and cultures of the men and women that eventually were bypassed by the onward march of technology. Here, in this gift to the museum's visitors, he helped bring the rich history to life through the metal, wood, fire, and steam of the coal-fired locomotives, the relatively small diesel locomotives that were part of the later years of the narrow gauge, the necessity of the more economical Rio Grande Southern galloping geese, and even those cute little putt-putt speeders that thrill visitors here. He also, in the mostly hidden shops and stalls of the engine house, where he volunteered many things, in his roundhouse coveralls, keys dangling, flannel shirts, sturdy work boots, red and blue handkerchief, and the sooty and grimy appearance, Joel brought that narrow gauge history of men and machines to life. As he yelled out from the fireman's side of number 20 as he closed the injector valve, he yelled over to engineer Mark shortly before his passing away, "I love this effing job." In my mind's eye, through the fabulous photographs and video taken by many of you here today, I will always have the visions in my mind's eye of Joel in his happy place right here, and thank you so much for making it so. With that, we have a bit of a PowerPoint or a slideshow of Joel, and enjoy. And then, again, if anybody will join us up here and share their memories, that would be great.
I wrote a letter, didn't know how to address it. I would've texted, but it don't send the same message. I've got these feelings, I hope you have them too. I had this vision of me right next to you. Can you see it too? When there's 1,000 stars in the sky, I swear that you shine brighter. If there's a chance for you and I hope we find it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you, but I've never been the type to be vulnerable. I'm scared to face these feelings, and I'm scared of you leaving me on my own. Don't wanna be alone. I wrote a letter, but I folded it and said it in the drawer beside my bed, 'cause I can't send it. I'm scared of hearing that you don't feel that way. I'm scared of breaking the bond we have today. But I'm sick of wondering, what are the words you'd say if I give it to you today? When there's 1,000 stars in the sky, I swear that you shine brighter. If there's a chance for you and I hope we find it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you, but I've never been the type to be vulnerable. I'm scared to face these feelings, and I'm scared of you leaving me on my own. 'Cause I can't be alone. I wrote a letter, didn't know how to address it. I hope one day I'll find the courage to send it.
I just would like to say this is a wonderful space. This is a wonderful place. And if you have it in your hearts and you want to contribute to keep this museum, this gift to the people of Colorado, all the visitors, we appreciate it. I personally appreciate it. And I think we all collectively as from the museum hope you can make donations and bring visitors and make this a part of your Colorado history of being in here and living in the area. And I just want to thank you again all for coming here. Come on in and get some seats. Anybody that'd like to follow me up here and say some words, please make your way and do so.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adam Wilson. I know majority of you have not. Welcome and thank you for coming. I know today is a pretty tough day. I know this past week has been one of the worst weeks of my life, losing not only a best friend of mine, but also someone who's become a blood-related brother to me. I feel like a second son to my parents, and a little brother to my sister, who unfortunately could not come today, but definitely to the Saslaw family. Larry, you know, my heart goes out to you, my condolences. Joel made a significant impact in my life. So I did write up a little thing, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of, obviously, even it's an emotional day. And I've known Joel for a very, very long time. Someone who came into my life 20 years ago at Sacramento State, day one, and I think we were attached to the hip ever since then. And so I saw this kid just standing there with his mom and dad, and For those who know me, I can probably make friends with a tree. And so I saw Joel and I walked up and I said, hey man, what's going on? I'm new, I'm from Southern California, don't know anyone. Do you want to be friends? And I think he had a pressure point there. He was like, sure, why not, man? And then next thing you know it, we joined a fraternity together, Sigma Phi Epsilon, SIG Ep for short, and really greatness started from there. So Joel lived an incredible life. Joy he brought to us all. I met Joel again day one, and it was a 20-year friendship. Started right there. And when we joined the fraternity together, we knew that we were going to be lifelong friends. Joel helped me a lot. He tutored me in math. Also, I looked at his math test quite a bit, and especially when our professor walked out, I was like, hey, man, let me see that test of yours. And so he supported me in college and pretty much helped me get a degree too as well. Joel was front and center at my graduation, and I did 4 years of Army ROTC, and Joel was front and center there when I commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. When I came home from my deployment from Iraq, Joel flew out with my little bro too as well, Ted, who's sitting right here. He flew out. He was there when I marched on the parade, got off the buses. He was there with my parents and my sister, and it was amazing. He supported me throughout my Army career, just 5 years, but felt like a lifetime. But he was always there. He was always supporting me, and he never left my side. And every time we visit San Diego, my parents live in San Diego now. Every time that we visit San Diego, we had a tradition of visiting the USS Midway. And Joel walked through that ship like he belonged there. He loved the Navy. Unfortunately, that was a rivalry between us. And perfectly clearly, he made it through every single doorway. Meanwhile, I hit my head consistently on every single hatch and every pipe, and he just laughed, shaked his head, and kept walking, and that was us, just Joel cruising through life, easy, and then me just bumping into things, and Joel just laughing at me, saying, wow, Wilson, figure out your life a little bit. And then he would just say, I thought Army Rangers knew that their life was together, and I was like, no, not this one here. So I went through plenty of bumps in my life, and Joel was always there with me. After college and after the Army, I moved to Denver. I was here for 11 years now, got into healthcare, and about a year later, Joel moved on out here. And it was, again, we're reunited, and we were attached to the hip again. We watched the Army-Navy game together every single year for those years we were together here in Denver. He was a diehard Navy guy. Obviously, I said that. And it was the rivalry that we continue to always have, even outside the Army-Navy week that they had in the Army-Navy game. We talked a lot of smack to each other. He would put me in a headlock. I would try to still stalk smack. He would throw me down to the ground. And so, yeah, it was pretty much like a Super Bowl between him and I. And, last year Navy won, and the year before that. So we don't talk about that right now. Joel absolutely loved his trains. He loved his Dodgers. He shared one thing that never caused a fight between us was our Dallas Cowboys. We absolutely loved watching Cowboy games together every Sunday. And then throughout life, he was just always there for me. Never asked for anything. And that was one of the most special things about Joel, is that he just opened up his heart, not only to me, but everyone else that's here. And then obviously, what makes it really emotional is that next year I'm getting married. I'm saying I do to the love of my life. And Joel was going to be standing up there with me too. And, you know, even though that when that wedding comes and he's not going to be there physically, he's there spiritually, and he's always there. And it's really hard not to know that he's not going to be there. But Joel was probably saying to me right now, suck it up, Wilson. Like, it's okay. Keep driving on. But, you know, ultimately, Joel was a big part of my life. Not just one chapter. He was a part of my life. He was driven. He was loyal. He was hilarious. During softball games, like every Sunday, he's umpiring. He would see us, give me a hug. Hey, best friend, I love you. And then minutes later, I'm up to bat, and he goes, oh, everyone scoot in, easy out. And I'm just like, come on. So, and then Joel would say that, standing at second base, umpiring us, and I'd be like, hey, everyone, let's see if Joel can dodge some softballs here. So, never got him, though. We made sure we were nice to him on that piece. But he was full of energy. He made room for everyone. Like, he made sure that everyone was welcome. He was so loving to all of us. And he not only made myself better, but I feel like he made everyone else around him better. And that's just something special and something I'm going to hold into my heart forever. The joy that he created, the friendships he built, the memories he gave us, that's what we carry forward. Joel, you will always be in my heart. I love you. I always did. And today, in your honor, and I can't believe I'm saying this again, go Navy, beat Army. I hope you fly high, brother. We celebrate you today and the wonderful life that you gave us and the wonderful life you lived in every day. So HFF, I love you. Thank you all.
Right. Good evening, everyone. I'm J.C. Allen. I've been a friend of Joel's for a long time, and I'm in a similar boat to Adam. I'm getting married in 70 days, and Joel was set to be one of my groomsmen and be there with me. This week's been very tough on all of us. To start out, I have a letter from one of Joel's friends, Noah Elariaga, who could not be here today, but he sent this letter for me to read. Joel, what can I say that fully expresses the shock and sadness that comes with your passing? I wish that I got the chance to talk to you one more time. I wish you got to see the reaction when the Dodgers traded for Tariq Skubal, and subsequently the horrible losing streak that has followed. You'd be pissed. I'm going to miss you and your friendship more than you know, hermano. I appreciate the way you reached out to me consistently despite not seeing each other over the last few years. We did not know each other long, but I always felt like you treated me like a lifelong friend. What I wish I got to tell you the last time we talked, and while I did not express it fully, was how proud I am of you and the direction you were heading made me so happy. Your happiness was infectious. You brought a smile to my face when we would talk, and I'm sorry that we didn't talk more. I enjoyed the games we got to watch together, and it would always make me laugh when you'd call the pitch before the umpire. Also, you're the only person who knew the entire umpire crew by name. It was amazing. Thank you for all the kind words, the shared fandom, the passion you had for life and morals. Thank you for always being you and showing us all what friendship looked like. You embodied loving life, something I will remember you by forever. Go Dodgers. Rest in power. I hope to see you again someday. Love, Noah. Thanks, Noah. All right. I met Joel when I was the chapter president of Utah Beta. Joel was my district governor. And I was president in 2020, which was not an ideal year to be a social group. I spent a lot of time with Joel talking about how we could build young men while it seemed like the world around us was falling apart. I saw Joel's great care for others shine during this time and was impressed by his ability to lead in such difficult times. After my presidency, what started as a mentorship became a lasting friendship. The same qualities that made Joel a great mentor made him a great friend I trusted and looked up to. I was a young man just entering the real world. I was faced with the reality of creating the person that I wanted to become. And at many crossroads, I looked to Joel for advice. And every single time, Joel pushed me to do things that I can look back on and be proud of. Joel had an incredible ability to stay true to himself regardless of his environment. Everything he did was rooted in who he wanted to be, not for the world around him. I will always remember weekends with Joel filled with watching football, going to baseball games together, taking long walks in the mall, and watching the Patriot on the 4th of July. I imagine a lot of us might be familiar with how much Joel loved amusement parks. Every year, we would take a trip to Lagoon and spend the day at the park. Last year, Joel came out to stay with me for our annual trip. On the day we were set to go, it was pouring rain. We decided to push through the weather and make the drive to the park, and it was miserable. It rained so hard, the speed of the rides turned the rain into painful projectiles. And we diverted from our normal park activities to spend time in the prop photo setups, because it was one of the only places with a roof. Throughout all of our years in a park, we'd never stepped foot into the photo landscape area, but today I am very grateful to have the photos we took to remember that day. Despite the cold and rain in a nearly empty park, we hit as many rides as we could before calling it an early day. We found a sports bar nearby and watched college football in our soaking wet clothes. And in the face of an uncomfortable environment and plans that seemed to be ruined, he was smiling, laughing, and uplifting my spirits. This is how I will remember Joel. Nothing was ever able to take away his joy and the love for the people around him. There's a ceremony done when you first become a brother of our fraternity, and without giving away too many state secrets, it ends with each new brother being given a fresh candle. The active members of the chapter take their own lit candles and use the flame to light those of the new brothers, welcoming them into the brotherhood. This signifies a physical passing of the flame between generations and serves as a reminder that when we use our flame to light another, our own flame does not diminish but shines brighter. Joel took part in this ritual dozens of times during his service to the fraternity. More importantly, Joel lived this ritual day in and day out. He lit the flames of countless brothers and sisters of the world around him, and every time he did, his own flame grew brighter and stronger. The world would be a much better place if more of us carried ourselves the way he did, and I will honor Joel every time I am kind, regardless of the personal cost, every time I am loyal to a friend, and every time I uplift someone in need. Holy friendship forever.
Hi, I'm Megan Wick. I'm Gamma Phi Beta CEO. Whew. This is really hard. I'm just so thankful to see all of you. Thanks, Kay.
I hired Joel.
You did try Joel. I love the Dallas Cowboys, and that is how Joel and I are really good friends, okay? I oversee the foundation, the sorority, and the FMC. And when Joel was hired as a part of the housing company, he came to my office and was like, hey, I heard you like the Cowboys. I was like, nobody likes the Cowboys. He said, but we do. I was like, we do. And so for years, he came into my office, and I always had red gummy cinnamon bears on my desk, and he would eat the cinnamon bears, and we talk about how bad it was. And I just feel terrible that he'll never see the reinvention of the Cowboys when Jerry Jones is gone. And I know he's waiting for it. He's going to be there. He's up there watching. We had a lot of plots about how that was going to end for Jerry Jones, but it just didn't happen. I hate that it didn't happen in Joel's lifetime because we both would have really celebrated that. So I know no one likes the Cowboys, but we do. And Joel just made Gamma Phi Beta better. For all of you who are SIGEPs or knew Joel in another area of his life, I was just so fortunate to have him come to Gamma Phi Beta to work for Kay and the other Gamma Phi Betas that are here. And he loved Gamma Phi Beta the way he loves everything in his life. He loves wholly his whole body, his smile, his laughter, his humor. Every time he came into my office to lament about how bad the game was the night before, I was like, let's just talk about how terrible it was, because it's going to be this way every single week. For years and years, they're going to lose, and we're going to be fine with it. But what's interesting to me about Joel is I knew how much he loved Gamma Phi Beta. I knew how much he loved SIGEP. I did not know how much he loved trains until like very late in my relationship with Joel. Like he suddenly was like, Joel, tell me what's going to happen. It's like, my dream is to become a train conductor. And I'm doing all these hours at the train museum. And everyone in the room was like, what? Who knew about you in the trains? It was like a new thing. So I just can't tell you what a joy it was to work with Joel, to have him be part of Gamma Phi Beta. He became a member of Gamma Phi Beta in his own way. His smile, his humor, his love of people, his love of everything, his communication, he's just was an amazing, amazing, gifted person, and we are so lucky to have had him. The facility management company is part of a Gamma Phi Beta that oversees housing, and it's a very small, young company. And Joel was there for a majority of it, and he just made it better. Like, everyone will look back at it and think that Joel was a part of it, and they're a part of the FMC because of Joel. And so I hope all of you remember him the way that we remember him. As far as I'm concerned, Joel is a Gamma Phi Beta. Sorry, SIGEP, but he is also a Gamma Phi Beta and a SIGEP. I don't have the words for it. I can't tell you the ritual, but I just know that he was such a huge part of our lives. And I'm just so thankful that I got to have every day with him. And thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Megan. I remember when I got Joel's resume, it came through, and I went, this guy's at the University of Kentucky. He's a SIGEP. He's a house manager for Sigma Chi. We're checking a lot of Greek boxes here. This could be our guy. So I talked to Joel for probably an hour and a half in our first interview. And I walked away and I said, I think I found this guy. He's got an immense amount of energy. He loves Greek life. He's a house director. He doesn't own a house, but we can coach him through that. So I said, Joel, you want to move to Colorado and take this job? And he said, when do I start? And he was there, and we were, as Megan said, we were a super young company. And I said, Joel, here you go. You get this job of overseeing 56 house corporation boards. Good luck. We don't really know what's going on, but we've got a lot of freestanding houses. We have 132 chapters, and we're going to figure this out. And he did, and he loved it. He loved writing. He loved creating newsletters. He loved the people. And then I go, Joel, guess what? Now you get to go open some houses because we're short on house directors. We don't have all our work done. He goes, where do I need to go? Where do I need to go? I think he went to Michigan and welcomed 52 women into a house in Michigan. And here's this guy sitting behind a desk going, oh, welcome, ladies. Where can I direct you? And he embraced it all with such joy and commitment and love for Greek life. So we so appreciate Joel's commitment to Gamma Phi Beta, to Greek life, to SIGEP, and even though Sigma Chi's at Kentucky. But it was all great, and he will be dearly, dearly missed. And I knew he loved trains. I knew he loved his family. I knew he loved the Dallas Cowboys and the Dodgers. So it was fun getting to know him all these years. So thank you.
My name's Al Blount. I'm a volunteer out here for over 25 years. And a few years ago, I had a group of about 7 young guys for Polar Express. I was the main conductor. Usually we're running steam. I usually have a conductor's uniform on. But since we weren't running steam today, I'm an engineer. Well, that year, I've watched a lot of grow up out here. Some of them weren't even born when I started out here. Well, they kind of got a nickname. That's why he's called Bubbles. Because everybody got a nickname. Everybody, amongst the 7 of them, gave everybody a nickname. His was Bubbles, because you know how he was. He was all over the place. And since he's a little bit short, he got a little kidding on that. When I tried to teach him how to drive the Galloping Goose, he couldn't push the clutch pedal all the way to the floor. So we always kidded him, he needs the booster seat. Well, he ended up wadding his coat up behind him, scooting up on the edge of the seat, and he found out that he could get by sitting sideways with his leaning against the door, and he'd get the clutch all the way down. So he was able to drive the clutch the goose pretty good. But it was fun teaching him how to run a diesel. I let the young guys run the steam locomotives. I'm too old for that. But I teach most of the guys out here run the Goose or running the Diesel. But he got the nickname from all the guys because he was like a bubble floating around. So anyway, we're going to miss him.
My name's Tyler. I'm, like Al said, one of the 7 that all started about the same time. And Joel was my brother out here. We went through training all together. We started fireman training about the same time. And we'd always be, swapping tips with each other, how to do it better. And same when we got up to, diesel engineer, steam engineer, we'd give each other better tips on how to run brakes, where to add power, reduce power. And, we both missed the cut to go down to Durango to run with the crew there last year by just a couple weeks of seniority. And ever since we saw everyone going down there, neither of us could stop talking about how next time an engine traveled, we'd be good doing it together. We'd be on the engine together. And next time one travels, I'm gonna have to give him the biggest highball whistle I can, just so he can hear it. I remember one time we were out on the train, we were both brakemen, and we had to back the train up a little bit for Jeff to grease the chain on the diesel, and we were both on the back end of it protecting the shove, and all of a sudden we hear the air light go, and we both immediately know that the air dumped, the train separated, and without missing a beat, both of us turn around and we go run up to the engine to give him trash. And we were really, we could match each other with trash talking out here as much as the rest of the guys, but it was the two of us that gave each other a special kind of trash. We're all going to miss him. Thank you.
My name is Zach, and I don't live as close to some of the guys here in the train ops and the shop. I live down in a little place called Alamosa, and my first volunteering experience was with the introduction with Joel, where we all kind of we had to come in July all on the same day and just meet with Corey, who used to work here. I think he's somewhere in the crowd, and Joel was there, and he lit up the room, and he was the best at that. When things were stressful, when things were rough and people were tired and burnt out, he lifted everybody up. And one of the things that he and I started nerding out about pretty early on was the Navy. Both he and I were big World War II Navy buffs, him more than me. And we had to be told, I think by Mark or Corey, hey guys, we're here for trains, not for ships. So, we had to stop, but, he and I picked it up later. I crashed at his place a couple times, and I was volunteering here and needed a place to crash for the night. And one of those times, he and I watched the full length of the original Battle of Midway. We still never figured out one of the naval Japanese ships. from the movie. It was probably just a really bad prop. But he and I figured it out, and we just, one year, my first puller, I was down at crossing down here, manning it. I think we still only had one crossing gate working at the time. And so we had to each go out and have a big stop sign on a pole. And he had some point picked up on that I was just tired. I think I was there for almost the whole Thanksgiving week or afterwards. And he just came down and started talking to me and kind of reinforcing that he was just, Joe was a really good man. One of the best people I think I have met in such a short time and gotten close to. His cat, I'm not even a cat person, and his cat loved me. I don't know how. I'm a dog person, I'm big dogs. So his cat loved me, and Joel loved me for the shortest period of time I'd known him at that point. And we had talked about, dreams, about how we wanted to buy a locomotive and man it and do fun things like that. And I still want to do that in honor of him someday, because Joel was that kind of person. He had an incredible heart, an incredibly big personality for how short he was. And he just lit up a room. And I can't understate how much he touched my heart and how much he lifted me up and when I was struggling and I was kind of feeling aimless. And he just, I don't even remember what he said. It was just the energy and his tone was incredible. So everybody who knew him longer, you are incredibly lucky, and I also lucky and grateful for having get to know Joel. And may he rest on with the old timers of the SP, and I hope wherever his spirit is, they're welcoming him inside of a cab for locomotive. Thank you.
Well, evening, everyone. My name is Mark Huber. I'm a volunteer here, the staff emeritus, I guess. Anyway, I had the distinction and I hate to say honor of being Joel's last engineer on the Rio Grande Southern number 20 on the day that he passed. It would be wrong for me to say that I taught Joel everything he knew, but I taught Joel a lot. At every step of the way in his training on the railroad, I worked with him, and he was such an incredibly fast learner, and he cared so much about doing things right and also holding the organization accountable. We had so many challenging discussions about hey, how do we make the museum as best as we can, because he cared so much. It's so few and far between some days. You find people that just get into checking boxes and everything, and Joel cared. He gave every shit he could. Apologies. But he also got me to spend lots of my hard-earned money on Southern Pacific trains from his father, so which we ran in honor of him earlier this week. It's still utterly surreal. As Larry said earlier, it was like a scene out of a movie. And I've told this to everyone I know at this point, just about, but I'm learning much about Joel and about his friends. And I have a Tony Romo jersey, and I didn't know he was a Cowboys fan. Messed up. We keep talking about trains. It's fine. Anyway, he shot me this look across the cab. He's priming the injector on the way down the hill, and he shot me the biggest smile. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a Dusty fire in there." Dusty's our roundhouse foreman, who's probably our best fireman on the small engines. Sorry, everyone else. He said that, and he just goes, "I fucking love this." He loved every second of getting what to do, and I had him switch with me earlier in the week, and he asked, again, he was like, "Hey, can I do the switching movement?" I was like, "Well, I've got a trainee brakeman, and trainee engineer, trainee brakeman, that's how you break stuff, and mom and dad are both not here. You know, was all worried about that. And I said, you know what, to hell with it. Yeah, let you do it. And I got off the engine, let him switch with the 20, and we could have qualified him as a steam engineer that day. He did so beautifully, and he took everything such there. He was such a beautiful soul, such a wonderful person. Gonna miss him till the end of my days. So, yeah, here's to Joel.
Hi, everyone. My name's Alex. I met Joel about 4 years ago through JC, and I had just moved to Salt Lake City and hadn't been to a theme park in probably 10 years. And JC says, hey, my buddy Joel's coming into town. He really wants to go to Lagoon. It's the Halloween night. Do you want to come? And I was like, I don't know, maybe? But JC said, no, you're going to love him. Joel is great. We're going to have a great time. And I think the thing that struck me most when I first met Joel was how much his excitement was infectious for me. We were out there getting to know him. I mean, this was, the first time I had ever met the guy, and he's already telling me, oh, we have to do this other ride, or, JC, you got to go throw the balls at these cups, or whatever it was. When Joel wanted to do something, it made you want to do it too. And I think that his ability to know what's going to get you excited and his ability to get excited about that thing with you was just something amazing about him that always struck me as a real skill of his. The years went on, and Joel would come out once a year, usually around October, and we would go to Lagoon. And so probably about 2 years ago, he starts talking about trains to me. So like some of the other people who have spoken, I really didn't know he was into trains up until that point. And all of a sudden, he's like, man, you have to come out. You have to come out. And I'm like, well, this is just trains? He's like, yes, but you have to come out when we run the steam engine. And so, as you can probably tell, I'm coming at this from a much less knowledgeable point when it comes to trains. But he said, look, you have to come out. We're going to run the steam engine. It's going to be incredible. And so, my inexperienced assessment was, oh, okay, we'll go out and we'll walk around the museum and we'll go for a train ride, and that'll be that. And so I finally, came out last year, and it was fairly cold. I come out on a Friday night. He's reffing a baseball game. He picks me up. He says, we get back to his place. It's like 10 p.m. He says, okay, set your alarm for 3:30. Joe, what are you talking about? We're just going to go for a train ride. No, we need to start the fire. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we get up for the next 2 days at 4:30. We stop down the street at the only gas station open at that point. We get a coffee, and we're here from 4:30 to 7. And when I say that was the happiest I had ever seen Joel, that's the absolute truth. I mean, he told me about this 2 years ago, and in between that time for the next 2 years, he probably Snapchatted me twice a week telling me how excited he was about these trains. At one point, he even sent me a video of him in the gym lifting a dumbbell as if he was shoveling coal. And he said, you need to do this, you need to train. So I was in the gym the month before that. I was training for it. And so I guess as shocking as it was and as horrible as it is, I think every time something brings joy to me and I'm able to share that, I'll be taking a part of Joel and paying it forward, because that's what he always did for me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jace. I started volunteering here about a year ago. I didn't get to know Joel that much, but from what I got to know of him, he was an amazing person. And I started with Thomas, and he would stand on the coaches with me, telling cracking jokes as we were running the whole day. And I remember when we started training for train crew, he showed me how to check brakes and whatnot, and he showed real passion in the work that he did. And I remember getting the phone call that I'm sorry. I remember the day I got the phone call that he was that he passed, and I couldn't believe it because he was a really good person, and we were truly going to miss him, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, how unique is this? We have Greek chapters, railroad enthusiasts, softball enthusiasts, and friends and family, you know, all under one roof here. You know, after receiving this news, you know, and kind of sitting on it for about a week or so, of course, I started thinking about Joel and the time I got to know him. You know, he's a very passionate man, and with everything he was involved in, he wasn't just a member. He was an active participant, and you know, his larger than life personality and his passion, I think that's really the big word. His passion for every single thing he was involved with just shone through. I had known him for, I'm Lance. I represent, I guess, the softball community here. I think this was my 11th season with Gadaza, or as I like to call it, Sunday softball. It wasn't just, you know, playing softball that I got excited for, you know, basically every week throughout the summer, and then I'd played some fall ball and some spring ball with him too. But you know, it wasn't just the act of playing softball, but it was seeing Joel too. I mean, he was just such a staple in every community, especially softball too. So yeah, I guess on closing, I just remember his larger than life personality and, you know, sharing jokes, and like Adam said, he would always riz you at the plate. So man, he was just a passionate guy, and man, that's really all I have to say.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki, Miss Nikki. I knew Joel from the school, Excel Academy, and I had to step up here to let everybody who knew him know how amazing he was for our community. I might be biased. I think our school is chock full of some of the most caring and loving teachers that we could find in Colorado, and he was at the top of the list, honestly. My own daughter was one of his students last year, and it was such a joy to I'd see him in the hallway, and he'd give me an update about how my child tried harder on a test after the talk, and he'd be so excited, and it would make me excited, and it really, I guess, the really big regret here is that we as a school community didn't get Joel for longer, because he was so amazing no matter where he went. I know all of the kids loved him. I know all of us teachers thought of him as family, and I know we're all gonna miss him a lot. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bree. I am Ted's wife. The baby that's been making noise all day, that's mine. My husband was fraternity brothers and best friends with Joel, and when I say that Joel's been with us for every single chapter of our life, that's not an exaggeration. College, engagement, wedding, he was in our bridal party, and I think I can hear him right now in my head because I was, I'm shaking and I'm nervous, and I can hear him say, "Sis, you seriously didn't get on a freaking plane and go all the way to Colorado and not get up there and say something for me." So, and I'm glad I'm wearing black because he would have made a comment about my sweating. That being said, I don't know that there's ever a way to repay Joel or Larry or family for providing a one-of-a-kind human. Without sharing all of the grave details, our family has faced a lot of interesting medical challenges, and one of them was that bonehead over there ended up in the ICU, and Joel didn't even blink. He went out to Bakersfield to visit his parents, and he got on a train and came and sat by my side the entire time. And that speaks volumes of the person that he was. And I'll give you guys a little funny part about Joel. We FaceTimed all the time. And when we did, most of the time I was like doing dishes, he was doing dishes, Callie was whining. The kids were, we have 4 under 7. And they call him Uncle Jolge with a G at the end. It stuck. So, we would FaceTime, and we have 4 kids, and on the 4th time when we called him, because we told him with every pregnancy on FaceTime, "Hey, we're pregnant," and the 4th one he goes, "Oh, come on, guys, like, don't you know how that happens?" So in that moment, he's like, "No, congratulations, of course." And then in that moment, my husband's like, "Well, hey, looks like I can delay the appointment." And Joel's like, "Seriously, dude? Like, we're going to get you that appointment. No more kids. Like, you and Bree are going to lose your minds, and Uncle Joel can't take care of all 4. We had a joke that they started out as best friends, and then I just snuck in and stole him, and Ted became the 3rd wheel. So I'm going to miss him. I already do. Going to miss watching Golden Girls with him and FaceTiming him and having him yell at Ted to let me decorate for fall on August 1st. Because that does start fall. So again, thank you. I can't repay you enough for the friendship and the love and being Uncle Jolge. So to Joel, thank you.
My name is Cresta Volo, and I'm the principal at Excel Academy. And Joel was taller than me. There's a joke, we do a faculty picture at the start of every school year, and we were looking forward to it because he was going to be part of the front of the line. Several of us know that. But I think one of the things that I wanted to share is that last fall we had a substitute teacher come through our doors. And a few weeks later we learned that one of our social studies teachers had accepted a job at a university. And finding great teachers mid-year is never easy. And our instructional coach, who's now our assistant director, said, "Hey, we had this sub. We should talk to him." And so she reached out to him and inquired, and he came and he interviewed, and it was amazing. Like, you would not know that he didn't have a degree in teaching, but he did have a degree in history, and he was passionate. And it takes a special kind of person to be passionate and ignite the passion in middle school students to be passionate along with you. And he did that. We hired him as a long-term sub for the remainder of the school year, and when it came time to post permanently, we posted internally only, thankfully. However, in that interview, we didn't get through all of the questions in the allotted time because he had a lot to say and a lot to share about how he was passionate and really felt not only that teaching was where he was meant to be, but that our school was where he was meant to be. And I think we all agreed. And not long after we hired him permanently for this upcoming school year, I don't even think a week had gone by, we take our students on overnight trips, and he agreed to go overnight with middle school students this fall. And so we are going to miss him so very much. He worked all summer in preparation. He was in contact with some of his colleagues, planning and making sure that he was as ready as he could be to welcome our students back. And we were so excited to have him back. And even though he won't be with us in the physical form, I have no doubt that his spirit will be with us and supporting us and those children all along the way. Thank you for sharing him with us. And even though we only knew him for a short time, his impact was immeasurable. There's some really, really big shoes to fill. We miss him so much.
Hi, everyone. Oh, this is perfect height. My name's Christopher. I'm also part of the Gadasa softball organization. It's interesting standing up here and hearing how so many people got to meet Joel and only know him for a short amount of time, and they still made such an incredible impact on everyone. I moved to Denver probably about 3 years ago and joined the Gadasa organization to play softball. Never touched a ball in my life. And probably a couple of weeks in, stepped off of the plate, walked out. Joel walks over as our head umpire is like, just looks at me dead in the eye because we're short, so we could see each other's eyes, and goes, "New here, huh?" I said, "Very observant. Thanks." And since then, we got pretty close pretty quickly. Got to nerd out with each other over softball, over trains. Many a times would have me over, we'd play, God, I feel like a 5-year-old. We'd go play with our train sets. Didn't even do that when I was 5. But just had a blast, like sitting there talking about trains, talking about softball, talking about anything and everything that he had a passion for. And I remember one of the times that obviously invited me over here to the Railroad Museum. And I remember being in one of the cabs and getting out with him, and one of the engineers saying something, because as you all know, lots of jargon, don't understand it, but still really cool. And they'd say, "Hey, don't forget to da-da-da, bubbles." And I just looked over and I just looked at him really confused. And the engineer said it again, and I just looked at him and I said, "You've got to be kidding me. Is that it?" And he just looked me again dead in the eye and said, "If you fucking tell anyone at Gadasa, I will kill you." It wasn't me. And I had the pleasure of having dinner with him a couple of weeks ago, just to help with some of those organization stuff. And I was just so excited leaving that dinner, hearing about how many wonderful things that he was excited about coming up in his life. From his partner to the upcoming school year to, of course, all the stuff that he was going to be doing with the museum. He was just so ready to take it all on, and I'm so excited that everyone got to be a part of that excitement that he had. So I'm gonna miss him, and I know that we all will. Thanks for being in our lives, Bubbles.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Uncle Marty. I've been hearing so many different things. I can only confirm the love, the kindness, the joy that Joel would bring. I do have to say, though, I hate the Dodgers and the Cowboys. Thank you. I'm a third-generation San Franciscan. And we would have tremendous trash talking. Also along with his mother, Ann. She took a little bit more personally. Joel was a little bit better about it. Something that's really interesting, and we've been hearing this, I really don't know anything about trains, although I know that is it H&O with the smoke that comes out? Lionel, okay. Was given to my brother, Larry, and it was a lot of fun as a kid playing with that. But so let me set you straight, or maybe inform you a little bit. Army, Navy. We've been hearing this. Joel was brought up in an Army environment. When he was born, he came over to the house with Larry, with Ann, and stayed and spent the weekend with the colonel, a career military officer. Joel learned how to corner a bed, how to line up his clothes, discipline, order, sometimes to the extreme by my dad. But Joel accepted it and learned a lot about it. So with that kind of upbringing, where's the Navy? Well, his Aunt Carolyn, my wife, her father, I didn't think I'd do this. He was on the bridge of the USS Nevada, December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Joel was mesmerized, just infatuated. He loved everything about the USS Nevada, the only ship to get underway that day. And I think this started a lot of that Navy. He was just a little boy. He had pictures, he had stories. He wasn't around that long to really talk with my wife's dad, his step-grandfather, but loved everything about it. So I think maybe that's where the Navy started coming in. And we too had the Army-Navy game, my wife and I. So I do understand. But I want to let you know what a kind, gentle soul he was to his cousins. Our youngest son was 3 years younger. He was a baseball player, 6 feet, 185. So Joel kind of looked up to him as a younger brother. He played minor league ball. He would call me, having been a high school baseball coach, and talk to me about rules and techniques and that type of thing. He was just so inquisitive and wanted to know. One of the really best things about him. Joel, I love you. Thank you.
My name's Michelle, and I feel like I love the short jokes because I'm short as well. And I always thought that Joel was huge because he looked like such a giant to me. So maybe it was just his personality, I don't know, but he always seemed big to me. So I didn't know him very well, so I feel a little strange being up here. But as things are at the museum, I'm a volunteer as well, and our paths crossed. Even though we worked in different areas, there were times where we had to kind of shuffle people around, and I inadvertently would end up with him, luckily, at one particular event. So bear with me. I've had one really deep conversation with Joel, and that was probably 3 or 4 months ago, actually. And we were talking a little bit. We had time. It was a pretty slow day. And we were talking about how he had just been over the moon about his future job and how excited he was to be a teacher and realize that dream. And so we were talking about that. And I was just struck by his passion, as people have discussed, and just his energy for that, and just his desire to pour his knowledge and the essence of him, Bubbles, into his job as a teacher. And I found myself thinking, number one, gosh, why couldn't I have had a teacher like that when I was loving history so much, right? But secondly, after I talked with him, it took me probably a couple weeks or so, but we kind of said our goodbyes and went on with our jobs. And, over 15 years, I have been trying to figure out who I am in this next stage of my life. And after talking with him, I thought, my gosh, why am I just trying to figure things out and not really making progress? And so I looked at what he had done, and I thought things have to change. And I don't know that I consciously knew that, but I just started changing the way that I was doing things. Lo and behold, that's what I challenge everybody here to do. If you're doing something that you're not sure where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, find your passion, find what you're meant to be here, because we're all created for a purpose, and we're all meant to be connected to people. And every person that you meet, every person that you have a conversation with, as insignificant as it might seem for the time that you're in, I bet you'll find out that a year or two, or even a few weeks down the road, or months down the road, you'll find out that it meant more to you than you realized. So to Joel, I thank you. And we're coming up on a big event. He was one of my guards, and I loved having him there. There were two particular people that would kind of work with me and keep me from getting run over. So, and the locomotives run over. So as I enter that season, I'm going to be thinking about him. But yeah, every time I hear that whistle, I'll be thinking of him too. So thank you for sharing him with us.
Howdy everyone, my name's Leo. I've been part of the Railroad Museum for over 10 years now. Oh, louder? Oh, okay. Closer to the mic, okay. Well anyways, I'm Leo. I've been here for a little over 10 years now, and when I got to first meet Joel, it was back, I think it was 2022, 2023, and came out of the roundhouse, and I remember it was either Jeff or Dusty, and they said, Leo, go teach Joel the ropes, you're good at it. So I brought him up to the train. I started showing him how to check the brakes and all that. And he's like, this looks pretty good. It gets dirty. It's fun. We're enjoying it. He learned quick. He was a good guy. And, I really I'm kind of missing him quite a bit now. It's still a surreal thing. Hearing that phone call last week. And I remember he'd crack jokes. He's like, Leo, where's your trademark? You going to say it? You going to say I'm going to say I'm sorry? I would do it just for him, just for fun. I remember he always would say, he's like, man, you're a bunch of the straightest gay guys I ever met. So, and he'd always be bubbly, always be happy. And I never personally called him Bubbles. I always called him Joel. I say, hey, Joel, what's going on? And when we do like prime rib on the train and all that, sometimes he was unable to be part of it. And finally he was able to be part of it. And the prime rib got overcooked. I was so upset because it was all gray. And he's like, Leo, this is the juiciest prime rib I've ever had in my life. Stop getting upset about it. And then go to get Texas Roadhouse, he'd always say, all right, you're going to treat me, Leo. If you're buying, give me the Texas prime rib, not the prime rib, but the porterhouse. I wasn't extremely close, but, he was one of the guys that trained. I appreciate everyone coming out, and I want to miss you, Joel. So thank you very much, folks.
Sharing your thoughts and experiences with Joel, thank you
I wrote a letter, didn't know how to address it. I would've texted, but it don't send the same message. I've got these feelings, I hope you have them too. I had this vision of me right next to you. Can you see it too? When there's 1,000 stars in the sky, I swear that you shine brighter. If there's a chance for you and I hope we find it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you, but I've never been the type to be vulnerable. I'm scared to face these feelings, and I'm scared of you leaving me on my own. Don't wanna be alone. I wrote a letter, but I folded it and said it in the drawer beside my bed, 'cause I can't send it. I'm scared of hearing that you don't feel that way. I'm scared of breaking the bond we have today. But I'm sick of wondering, what are the words you'd say if I give it to you today? When there's 1,000 stars in the sky, I swear that you shine brighter. If there's a chance for you and I hope we find it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you, but I've never been the type to be vulnerable. I'm scared to face these feelings, and I'm scared of you leaving me on my own. 'Cause I can't be alone. I wrote a letter, didn't know how to address it. I hope one day I'll find the courage to send it.